Hey guys, it's Daniel, licensed therapist. One day I was at my son's soccer practice and the coaches looked at the dads and said, "Hey, why don't the dads play against the kids?" And well, I'm not the greatest soccer player, but it was a good day for the dads. And I think we were just lucky that this kid wasn't on their team. If you didn't know, this was Lionel Messi playing as a kid, and obviously Messi is the greatest soccer player of all time. Yes, I said it, the greatest soccer player of all time. And Cristiano Ronaldo fans, like this video, subscribe and leave a comment, and maybe you'll win me over. But can talent alone make somebody the greatest ever? Well, it's possible, but when someone is so outstanding at something, typically they have some kind of extreme mindset or mentality.
Throughout all of this, Messi's main influence when it came to football weren't his brothers or his cousins or even his father. The one to show him the ropes was actually his grandma. Her name was Celia, and she seems like an amazing person. She was the one who encouraged him to play the most from the beginning. She brought him to his first training session, got his parents to buy him the first pair of boots, and once she even convinced the coach to call Messi up for a game. Messi loved her, I guess he still does. He once told the press that when he was a kid, he used to fight his cousins over who would get to sleep over at her house. Celia was ahead of everyone else. She had this ritual. Whenever she took Messi to practice, instead of wishing him luck or literally anything else, she would say, "Remember, one day you're gonna be the greatest football player in the world." The year between the ages of 10 and 11 was perhaps the toughest in Messi's childhood. First of all, Celia passed away, and it took a toll on him. He has said that to this day he still thinks about her all the time when playing football. He said there isn't one particular thing about her that could portray what she meant to him. He would have to know everything about her. It wasn't just the fact that she loved him that made her so important, it was how she showed her love for him. I guess in an attempt to show his love for her in a way she would appreciate, nowadays every time Messi scores, he points to the sky as a way of honoring her life.
The impact that Messi's grandmother had on him obviously was deep and so profound, even though it was a relatively short period of time. And it was so powerful that even today, he pays homage to his grandmother every time he scores a goal. She must have been an incredible grandmother. So whenever I analyze someone, I want to get to know the cast of characters, the influential people in their lives, because those are the people that are going to make up the collective voices in their head. And no, I don't mean literal voices. If you're hearing literal voices, go get professional help. It's not good. But I'm talking about the mental representations of the people that were influential in our life. And these voices in our head can continually send us a message throughout our life. And that's what Messi's grandmother did. The phrase, "You are going to be the greatest football player in the world," was installed into his psyche. And you know what? She wound up being right. And maybe it wasn't something that was just blaring in his mind 24/7, or wasn't something that he was striving to do, but it was there. And I believe that it did something for Messi, something very powerful. I believe that it eradicated any doubt that he had that it was possible. And let me tell you, doubt is one of those things that can definitely affect you and arrest your ability to do something. It really stops you from being present. And I think that that was a gift that Messi's grandmother gave him. So we're off to a very good start, but let's look at the other cast of characters in Messi's life. How is his relationship with his mother? Well, I actually couldn't find much in my limited research, but
decís eso?
No sé. Por ahora estoy bien con mi mamá.
No sé. No agarré la guitarra, decime una.
No sé.
Un estilo.
No sé.
Okay, as a mama's boy myself, this man puts me to shame. Who at 19 years of age says that he's okay with his mom when asked about girlfriends, especially as a professional soccer player playing at Barcelona? Fun fact, when he pats his back when he celebrates on the pitch, he's actually giving a nod to his mom because he actually has a tattoo of her face on his back, for crying out loud. And look at the way that they embrace after the World Cup. I mean, is it dusty in here or is it just me? Look, I was not there during his childhood, so I have no idea what his mother did or said to him, but I do know the results. And I look at what I see and I think to myself, this woman loved Lionel Messi probably as much as a mother can love a son. And as a mom, I believe that she did an amazing job. But what does that love do to Messi? Well, what I think that it could have done is it solidifies his sense of self and who he is, and it actually strengthened him. And when a lot of people describe Messi, they say that he's very humble. And I think we could look to his mom because of that. Human beings are programmed to need love and attention. And if they don't get enough love and attention, they seek it out in different ways. And well, Messi doesn't do that. And I think we know why.
Father Jorge had a say in this. His philosophy was simple: work hard, be persistent, and show humility, and you can achieve your goals. Jorge was also devouring his sons daily with VHS tapes of Maradona, and was Leo's second coach in Grandoli as well. The writer Guillaume Balaguer said in his biography about Messi that his father was his number one idol. He was his mentor, hero, and he had absolute trust in him. Jorge was also the person who decided to transfer Leo to one of Argentina's big clubs, Newell's Old Boys. Lionel was a key part of what was later called the Machine of '87, an unbeatable youth side.
¿Y apellido?
Lionel Messi.
El mejor jugador de la cancha. Fuiste elegido por nosotros, ¿lo sabías?
No.
2 goles hiciste, ¿no es cierto, Messi? ¿A quién le querés dedicar este campeonato?
A mi papá, a mi tío y a toda mi familia y a todo lo que me conoce.
So now we have Messi's dad. And once again, we have a very good relationship. And it seems like Messi's dad had really taken an interest in Messi's soccer career. Well, I initially thought Messi's dad, someone who probably really loves soccer, sees his son be a generational talent. He's out there on the pitch just wrecking the other kids. He probably want to push him to be the best. It happens all the time today with kids who aren't even talented. So I wouldn't blame Messi's dad for that. I can see him doing that out of love, but I think it very much can backfire. Because what it could have done was it could have killed any intrinsic motivation Messi would have had for the game. But Messi's dad doesn't do that. How do I know? Well, check this out.
How old were you, do you think, when you realized that you were going to be really good?
No, la verdad que nunca me di cuenta.
To be honest, I never realized it. I never really thought that I was going to be really good or not. I just wanted to make my dream come true.
Yeah, but in Argentina you must have realized that you were better than the other kids.
Sí, me decía mi familia, mis amigos.
Well, yes, my family and my friends would tell me, but I wasn't playing football then just to be the best. I just wanted to have fun.
Fun. Messi is motivated by fun, not by winning or losing, not by glory or for money. He is motivated by fun, which means he is intrinsically motivated. He just loves playing soccer. And that intrinsic motivation, that natural love that he has, appears to be intact throughout his career. They did a study on children. They watched children, not in a creepy way, and saw how much time that they colored. And what they did was they gave out prizes for children for coloring. And then they watched them again and timed them on how much they colored. And guess what? The amount of time they colored on their own decreased, which means their intrinsic motivation lowered just by getting prizes. Intrinsic motivation is such a powerful motivator, and it can be lost so easily. Look, you can be motivated by other things, negative things. You could be motivated by stress. I believe Michael Jordan was motivated by the desire, the very strong desire, to not want to lose. Well, if that was his primary motivator, it did get him to be the greatest basketball player of all time. But you know what? In the middle of his career, in his prime, he took 2 years off to play baseball. I wonder if he was motivated intrinsically by the love of basketball just because he thought it was fun, would he have taken 2 years off? I actually doubt it, but that's all conjecture. But I think we have to tip our hat to Messi's dad. He was able to coach and train his kid and motivate his kid, but allow him somehow to keep his intrinsic motivation. I'm actually quite puzzled on how he did it. So good job, Dad. But Messi's path to being the greatest wasn't always pleasant. He did struggle. So let's look at how Messi dealt with adversity.
Messi was hit with another heavy blow. Leo had been followed by an endocrinologist under the club's advice for about a year now, and the news weren't great. Leo was diagnosed with a hormone deficit that was responsible for his stunted growth, and after a long year of testing, Messi was prescribed injections that he would have to take daily in order to make up for it. One of the players who were part of his youth team recalled that when Messi slept over at his house, he would always bring a box and ask to keep it in the freezer. Then, in the middle of the night, he would go there and administrate the dosage himself. Though at first that other kid found it weird, he said that for Messi it was like brushing his teeth. Just another task, and so soon, everyone got used to it as well. But
as a young, talented soccer player and someone who had aspirations to be a professional, this must have been devastating. It must have been such a gut punch. And also, if you think about it, he was a kid and he had to use a needle to inject himself every day. That must have been incredibly awful. But I love this little glimpse into the daily life of Messi and how he dealt with this through his teammate. We can see how Messi just incorporated this really unpleasant thing into his routine. And it seems like, according to the account, that there was no mumbling or complaining or negativity. And I think it demonstrates how Messi has a very good head on his shoulders. So at this point, Messi seems like a very well-adjusted, humble, nice guy. And it was not what I expected when you think about the biggest star of the biggest sport in the world. I mean, I really expected him to be motivated by the pressure to succeed. I mean, he moved from Argentina to Barcelona in order to pursue soccer. There must have been a tremendous amount of pressure on him as a young man, but it didn't seem to matter. And considering he grew up kind of poor, you would think that there would be that financial pressure on him to make it, to bring his parents, his brothers, his sister out of poverty. But no, that didn't seem like a factor either. More or less, Messi just seems, well, just like a normal person, which is really quite amazing if you think about it. And I know some people are thinking, Messi, a normal person? Yeah, right. Well, don't take my word for it.
What's he like as a person? Obviously, I've seen pictures of you out with him, sort of like. Does he, I'm thinking simple things like, does he have a glass of wine? Does he have a beer or something? Does he do normal things?
Yeah, he's
a great lad, is he? Oh, great lad.
First in, last out. To be fair, he is. Yeah. He is. But apart from that, he's so humble. He is really humble. You know, it's just the normal things that we all think that's how it should be. You know, this is someone that, you know, especially in Miami, he's not left alone. You know, he's chased everywhere, he's followed everywhere. But from the moment he landed in Miami, he drives himself to the supermarket, does his shopping, goes home, and people are shocked at that. But that is him. He's humble, he's hardworking, he's got a great family, his wife's amazing, the kids are amazing. He's just a normal guy.
You don't believe Beckham? You think he's full of it? Well, check this out.
Qué locura.
135.
Thank you, man.
Vení, guarda, se apaga.
Esto con Messi.
Perdón, ahí está. Dale. Vení, sácate.
Look at this guy walking down a regular supermarket aisle with his wife and 3 kids, wearing a t-shirt, shorts, and sandals. I think that this is insane. You are one of the most famous people, recognizable people on the planet. If you were that person, would you be out there in the supermarket? I wouldn't. So it's really strange that he's so normal. But, you know, as a mental health professional, I look at him and I don't just think normal. I just feel like he is unhindered. I just feel like he just didn't experience those things that normally hold people back. He was loved and he was protected and he was raised very well. Any doubt that he would have had was erased by his grandmother. He was fully loved by his mom, so he didn't need to prove anything to anybody, and he was protected and believed in by his dad. And I'm sure there's a whole host of people, his brothers, his sister, uncles, aunts, friends, teammates, coaches. Everybody did a great job with Messi. You know, usually when I look at somebody who is an outlier, I look at the beginning and I see some unusual or outstanding circumstances that led them to be who they were. But looking into Messi really caused me to appreciate not the beginning, but the end, the now, and who he is as a person. And I gotta say, I was a fan of him as an athlete, but now I may be even more of a fan of him as a person. And that is why Messi will always be better than Ronaldo. Like and subscribe.